If you could speak directly to Elon Musk, what would you say?
Off.
That's it.
New polling today shows President Trump has an overwhelming mandate from the American people to make America great again. It looks like the American people have completely decoupled from the extremism of the ivory tower elites, the woke liberal media, and their pet Democrat Party. Donald Trump was a vote for change. Donald Trump was a vote for holding the government accountable to the people, not the other way around. Just this morning, Apple announced it's investing in Manufacturing Supplier Academy in Detroit. We weren't getting this type of investment when Joe Biden was in office. This only happens when you have a president of the United States who's as serious as a heart attack about moving jobs back from overseas and putting them right here in Michigan. Donald Trump has done more for Detroit in the past month than Joe Biden did in 4 years, and I'm here for it. And from the looks of that new poll, it sounds like you are too. Welcome to America's...
Yes, Jasmine makes a total fool of herself every single time she opens her mouth. Chalanga asked her the other day, there is a lot of waste, fraud, and abuse in government. Her reply tells you everything you need to know. I don't know if you've seen that video, extremely concerning.
There is a lot of waste, fraud, and abuse in the federal government, though.
I'm not going to say that there's a lot. I'm going to say that it does exist. I'm going to say that it exists. I don't think that there's a lot. I think.
So why are we so in debt then?
We're in debt because we decide that we're going to reduce the income, right? So under Trump in his first administration, we went into debt $8 trillion.
You are a slave, and you don't even realize it. For decades, they've been robbing you blind, funneling your hard-earned money through a system designed to keep you dependent. A system where the rich get richer and you just get enough to survive.
I believe you heard her. She believed there is waste, but not a lot. That is according to this lady. There is a clip. This man explained everything. Another question surfaced to her about the $5,000 they are going to give everyone as dividend. This lady said, people don't need that. What can $5,000 do to you? That is a question she posed. She stirred up a lot of reactions on social media. Even black people went off on her like never before. She went on Instagram to do a segment to explain what she meant by that. People didn't even listen. I'm going to show you all the videos, but before I do, if you have not subscribed to the channel, please endeavor to do that. It will do you no harm if you share the video out.
We are not in the business of giving out money. And honestly, I don't know what $5,000 will do for you.
A system where the rich get richer and you just get enough to survive, but never enough to be free. That's about to change. Trump just announced something that should have every single tax-paying American paying attention. $2 trillion in misappropriated funds have been uncovered by the Department of Government Efficiency, DOGE. You want to know where your money has been going? Not to you. Now, here's the kicker. 20% of that is being given back as a dividend to the American people, not a stimulus check, a dividend. That means that this was your money all along and it was stolen from you. And now it's being returned. That averages out to about $5,000 per taxpayer. Now, there are families out there that are struggling just to cover the basic necessities, and this could be the break that they desperately need. And they're firing 6,000 IRS agents as well. The excessive baggage, bureaucratic leeches just sucking your wealth dry. The next stop, that missing $100 billion that we sent over to Ukraine, it just so happened to vanish under the Biden and Harris administration. We sent over $170 billion over there. Ukraine only got 70 billion of that. Where's the other 100 billion? Where did it go? This doesn't just matter for you, but it matters for the economy, for national security, and for your future. You see, that $5,000 isn't welfare. It's restitution. It's money that never should have been taken in the first place. This could mean rent for struggling families, groceries, medical bills, life-changing relief without increasing government dependency. When people have more of their own money, they spend, they invest, they grow businesses. Instead of printing money out of thin air and fueling inflation, this move actually injects real capital back into the economy. A dividend payout and national debt reduction all in the same move? That's a restructuring of fiscal power. It forces the government to be more accountable and less reliant on debt-based monetary policies. This is going to shift the influence away from the central banks and back towards economic productivity, real wealth creation. Meanwhile, the people still defending Biden and Harris, they're about to get their illusions shattered when the books get opened and we find out where that $100 billion really went to. So tell me, are you still defending the people who stole from you? Or are you finally ready to wake up?
First of all, let's just take a step back and talk about this.
Yes, it is amazing to see that black people are waking up, now going into Elon Musk's email, sending out to federal employees. The meltdown on social media was massive. The White House press secretary had this to say.
Administrator. Who is the DOGE administrator?
So the president tasked Elon Musk to oversee the DOGE effort. There are career officials and there are political appointees who are helping run DOGE on a day-to-day basis. There are also individuals who have onboarded as political appointees at every agency across the board to work alongside President Trump's cabinet to find and identify waste, fraud, and abuse. And they are working on that effort every day.
So is Elon
Reagan.
Musk the administrator?
Reagan. Thanks, Caroline.
On DOGE, last night Elon Musk said that a failure to respond a second time will result in termination. Will there be additional rounds of the "what did you do this week" email from DOGE to federal workers? And what's the guidance on the federal workers who've been instructed by their agencies not to reply?
So a couple of things on this. First of all, let's just take a step back and talk about this idea. The president sent out a truth last weekend to Elon Musk saying he loves everything Elon is doing and he wants him to be even more aggressive because DOGE thus far has proven incredibly successful in making our government more efficient. And so Elon and DOGE came up with this idea. Elon has implemented this at his private companies. It has proven successful. And it's a very simple idea when you think about it. All the Office of Personnel Management is asking, all this administration is asking, President Trump is asking, is for federal workers who live off of the American taxpayers' dime to send 5 bullet points of what they have done in the previous week. That is all we are asking for. And so the Office of Personnel and Management sent out additional guidance last night. Those responses should be directed to agency leadership, and the president defers to his cabinet secretaries, who he's obviously entrusted to pursue the guidance relative to their specific workforce. And for some of the agencies that you've seen who have said, please don't send these emails, it's in their best interest for that specific agency, and the president supports that. And let me be very clear, the president and Elon, his entire cabinet, are working as one unified team. And they are implementing these very common sense solutions. You're welcome.
Only in government work can you say, I don't have to come into work and I don't have to tell you what I did and I still want to get paid. Sign me up for that. Nuts.
Oh! Have we determined if those are effective workers? Is it based on performance? Are you going in with the scalpels?
We want the bureaucrats to be traumatically affected. We want, when they wake up in the morning, we want them to not want to go to work.
Mission accomplished. DOGE.
Yes, the freak out is on another level. Libras don't take this lightly. I don't know why they're doing this. First, take a look at this video.
Well, we're about a month in, and Alonia still doesn't understand how chain of command works. It is Saturday, and government employees are receiving an email from hr@opm.gov. Let me show you. As a federal employee, I just want to remind everybody that I do not report to OPM. I report to my supervisor, who reports to their supervisor, who reports to our HR.
Yes, President Trump says anyone who doesn't respond to Elon Musk's email will be fired. So by asking the question, tell us what you did this week, what Elon is doing. It's saying, are you actually working? If you don't answer, you are fired.
Of federal workers, and it is just plain wrong.
And it's random.
It's
abusive.
It's random.
It's abusive.
Yes,
to get an email?
I do think
It's
that.
abusive
I
to
think
get
the
a
way that they
threatening
are.
email.
Yeah, I think the way that they are treating them.
Why? How is this abusive?
Scott, have you ever gotten an email from someone that said, you better do this or else you're going to resign?
Yeah, it's called having a boss in the private sector.
From someone who's not your boss?
The White House is every federal worker's boss. That's number one.
Elon Musk is not anybody.
Scott, how is Elon going to evaluate? I mean, how is he going to evaluate the work of thousands of federal employees when he has no idea what they do?
He's not. The test was, are you even paying attention to your email? Are you even at your terminal?
Some federal workers, he sent it on a weekend. Some federal workers do not have access to their emails on the weekends. They just don't.
Did they go to work today? I mean, look, the amount of outrage, melting down, and sort of outpouring of emotion over this ought to tell you everything you need to know. We had a lady on CNN today, a supposed federal worker, who said she was infuriated by getting this email. She had time to go on CNN, but she didn't have time to send a 30-second email saying, well, here's what I was working on last week. This is what people in the private sector have come to hate about how they view the public sector. And I think there's a great many very dedicated public servants. But you said, it's about control. Yes, it's about control, and it's about finding out who is actually at their job working and who isn't, and do we need all these people?
That is not all. The main prayer point for Democrats is that the Trump administration should fall. They should start going after each other. This guy predicted this the other day. I had to laugh all through because they are not God.
This is what I believe. I believe that this administration, in less than 30 days, in the midst of a massive collapse, in particularly a collapse in public opinion.
He put this video on this interview. I watched all the interviews. What I saw was just craziness all through.
New York Democratic Senator Andy Kim. To our public servants, I'm sorry you're being threatened. You deserve so much better. I remember how proud I was when I first swore my oath as a civil servant, honor of a lifetime.
I think he wanted to draw attention to how outraged they would get, and then contrast it with what everybody puts up with every day. Even at a think tank where I work, when I heard this, almost simultaneously I got an email and it said, "This is time for your annual review, Victor. Would you please list all the things that you have done and for the entire year, day by day?" And we do that every year. Everybody does that. And sometimes they do it by the month, sometimes they do it by the week, but the idea that you don't have to do that. So when they got this outrage, I think it's sort of trolling them. And
the truth is just that the Trump administrations know how to pick up Democrats. In fact, they know how to change their mood every single time. When Trump tweeted this, Elon Musk put this out, the freak out start immediately. Without even that one getting finished, they will do another one, they will skip to it. They are just confused every single day. I don't know.
Now, they seem to be facing a backlash. And in and out of D.C., the new White House appointees like Kash Patel and Tulsi Gabbard at work last week. Like, this is what they need to be doing.
It's like, and then, you get, the closer you get to the actual set where the shooting is, and then that red zone.
And he did this little dance, so we're already working with our legal teams to...
Came in and he said, "You don't rake. You're not raking." And we all did jokes about it.
In policy.
The city of the Palisades is burning, and I flew here last night. I was on a plane.
You getting water to areas that need...
He's been trained.
Yeah, and then I think all our tax dollars probably went for Gavin's hair gel.
The Democratic Party has about everything.
The next department that appears to be on the chopping block is the Department of Education. Just earlier today,
tyranny is rising in the White House.
All the other nights except for Mondays.
Oh, Trump,